Hello and welcome to First Team All Vibes, your favorite sports podcast with all of the best vibes. My name is Marissa and I am one of the hosts on this podcast.
And I'm Anthony and I'm the residential guy that knows ball.
That
I'm
is
the
right.
everyday Timothy Chalamet, if you will, except I'm not I wasn't in Dune 2.
Right, just
That's the only difference.
Yeah,
That's our
yeah.
only difference.
Everyone knows that's
Other
also
than
the
that,
only
we're
difference.
the same dude.
Yeah, exactly. You know, two peas in a pod, if you will,
Exactly.
you and Timmy. So welcome. This is episode 3. We are so excited to be here for another episode, guys. Let's get right into the juicy part of this episode. We'll start with the tip-off. We have a fun little topic that we are going to be starting with, and that is the fact that the NBA now has like 8 different platforms, I think it is, to watch games.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people have criticized this because obviously that's kind of insane. And a lot of sports don't do that. Football does not do that. A lot of sports are more accessible, but there's also just a lot more NBA games, so it's complicated. They just signed a new 12-year deal to broadcast these games, okay? So this is going to be the foreseeable future of the NBA.
It's like 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years we're locked into this garbage.
Literally, exactly. So it's
You
like
have to
there's
watch
no going
NBA
back.
games on Prime TV.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Just to start off, I actually want to read to you guys what the NBA schedule will look like, okay? You're listening, I'm going to read it to you, but if you're watching, I'm going to put it on the screen so you guys can see it, okay? Now, this is next to a lovely picture of the commissioner of the NBA, Adam Silver, and he is going to come in just a second. Yeah, I know.
He's a gray. He's an alien for sure.
No, literally though, sometimes I'm like, I'm kind of surprised that they chose this guy to lead this ship. You know what I mean? Like,
He gives me the heebie-jeebies, honestly.
yes, he just like seems like, I don't know. I'm just kind of like, you guys couldn't have chosen someone a little more media friendly. No shade to Adam Silver. That's not really the point, but just saying.
He looks like Rufus from Kim Possible, the naked mole rat.
Wow.
If he were ugly.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Or evil.
Or
Rufus
like with
isn't
his
evil.
glasses, like just put glasses on him and put him in a suit. He honestly, what he really reminds me of is like he's giving like the Men in Black. He looks like he's a man in black, literally. Like he looks like he's telling you like you saw nothing and he's just gonna like wipe your memory. You know what I mean?
He looks like you drew Howie Mandel from memory.
Honestly, I think it's probably worse than that.
No, probably worse.
Anyway, that's who that guy is, okay? For you guys looking at him. And you will see next to him a schedule, okay, of the NBA games day to day and where you will be able to watch them. So Sundays will be on ABC, NBC, and also Peacock, okay, because those will be 2 separate streaming platforms. Some will be on NBC and like be on cable, and then some will be on Peacock, which obviously is a separate streaming service. Mondays will be on Peacock, Tuesdays will be on NBC or Peacock, Wednesdays will be on ESPN, Thursdays will be on Prime, Fridays will be on Prime or ESPN, and then Saturday will be on Prime or ABC. Okay.
It's like 5 right there.
5, yeah.
Not to mention NBA League Pass.
Exactly.
For out-of-market games.
Exactly. But these are just like the main subscriptions you would have to have, okay? Because even to have cable is kind of like a luxury. I mean, it's expensive. It costs a lot of money to have cable.
Well, I mean, to the people out there like me.
Okay.
You just have to get an antenna set up. Antennas, you can buy them at the Dollar General for like $5.
Okay.
You hook it to your cable setup in the back of your flat screen TV. You can still do it to any TV you have now.
The TV
and you
right
get
now.
You get CBS, Fox, NBC, the CW, Ion. You get all those channels.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You get the HD too.
Okay. Actually.
ABC, you get all of them.
Okay. Period. You're right.
So
That's
you
true.
can at least get the Saturday games or the Sunday games, but there's more that goes into it, right?
Well, Peacock, Prime, like ESPN.
Everything that you have to pay for.
Yeah, and like you said, like League Pass, like
League
that's
Pass
the whole
is like
thing.
$300.
It's like, I mean, you know, that all adds up, and when you're paying each of those subscriptions monthly, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think somebody said it was like $100 and like something dollars, like a month. And then so it's like per year, that's a lot of money. So basically the NBA was already kind of being criticized for this. A lot of people were not very happy because it's just kind of inaccessible. And it's also confusing. That's the other thing I don't like about it, is that it's like, are you serious? You know what I mean? Like, there should be more consistency on where you're able to watch games. If you're just going to make it, or at least have all the games on League Pass or something, you know, just have some kind of way to make it easier to know where to watch games, you know, or to how to watch games, because I feel like that's also become a problem where people aren't really watching as much. Like, I know viewership has gone down. I watched a whole video one time. That's a whole other topic, but just saying.
Like, even in the NFL. So, like, Monday Night Football, you know that it's always going to be on ESPN. And even though you can't get ESPN through an antenna, right? You have to pay for cable to get ESPN. Or you have to at least have Disney Plus, pay a little bit extra, $20 extra for the monthly fee to get ESPN Unlimited to get that channel so you can watch it. But at least with the NFL, you know every Monday it's going to be on that channel.
Yeah.
With this now, you're just like, with each game, like, what games are you even going to have? Like, you have to consistently even check the schedule, one. And then two, you have to know what time the games are going to be on, what channel they're going to be on. It's just so stupid. And then you have to get Prime. Oh, that's the worst part of it all.
I mean, I already have Prime, so I'm actually not upset about that. Well, my mom has Prime, so I watch it through her account.
I'm not upset about it. It's just I can't stand watching NFL on Thursdays on Prime. It absolutely blows, and it's going to blow. The NBA is going to blow on Prime as well. I miss when NFL Thursdays was on NFL Network, not Prime.
Okay.
Like, Prime just... It's not a good broadcast.
I know that, like, I wish I had the specifics, but I know that a lot of, like, the new networks are going to have, like, very cool guests. The two I remember are Michael Jordan is going to be a commentator with someone. Maybe it's either Peacock or Prime. One of the two, I think.
It'd be nice if it were NBC. Having Magic and
Or, I don't know, maybe
Michael?
it is NBC, because that's the other thing. Yeah, there's some people that are also going to be on NBC. I forgot about that. And I also know that, like, Dirk Nowitzki is also going to be doing commentary on one of the channels. I'm actually interested to see how their shows are, because that is kind of interesting, you know? Like, that I'm like, okay, how are these new dynamics going to be? I know a lot of people are upset that, like, Inside the NBA is not, you know, is going to be moving, and they're not even going to be, like, showing it that much, I guess. People are kind of upset about that. But anyway, the other thing about this, and the reason this is kind of, like, come up right now, is because the commissioner of the league, Adam Silver, aka Mr. Lizard Man himself, he was actually asked about this. Basically, you know, because he's been getting some heat for it, okay? And I want to read you guys a little snippet from this article, and I'll put it up on the screen as well, okay? Silver has faced criticism in recent days for a quote that came off as tone deaf to fans. When asked on Wednesday about the expense of being an NBA fan, from the cost of attending games to the need for fans to subscribe to multiple streaming services to watch all their team's games, the quote pulled out of Silver's answer was cold. Okay, so this is what he said when they asked him about this, basically. There is a huge amount of content that people essentially consume for free. This is very much a highlights-based sport. So basically he's saying, like, well, you know, there's highlights on all of these, like, social media platforms. Like, there's a ton of free content, basically. And, you know, I think that a lot of people are upset by that because, I mean, yes, of course, the NBA does lend itself to highlights, of course, like, just naturally, like basketball. You know, it's fast, like, there's those little snippets, whatever. And all sports do. But I would be shocked to hear any other sports commissioner say something like that about their sport, you know, because it just feels kind of like almost belittling of, like, the experience of watching a game and how there's so many things that are not on the highlights, you know, that you miss. And so much of, like, even the substance of the plays, you know what I mean? And, like, of the players.
He basically just said, take your poor ass to YouTube.
Yes.
Which is, again, I can't expect somebody as rich as him and as out of touch as him to even, and honestly, this also makes me question whether Adam Silver whether or not he likes basketball to begin with. But this shows that he's not a sports person, period.
He's just a man in black who got elected to be.
Nothing like watching a sport live. I can't even imagine rewatching all the Tyrese Halliburton shots on YouTube. Like, of course everybody did that. Yeah. But it was different when it was happening live. Exactly. And you're watching it on TNT. Now, also, what was great about TNT, if you had HBO Max, you could watch those games. You didn't need to have cable. Yeah. Like, again, he just threw a whole other monkey wrench into it. But, like, that's where I question, is he even a sports fan? That's the sheer joy, is watching it live. And then even if you go to YouTube, it's literally just because you're so hyped about what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, when you watch highlights on YouTube or whatever it is, it's not your first time seeing it. It's your
Yeah.
rewatch already. Like,
Yeah.
nobody's going to go to it wanting to watch a 20-minute condensed game of the game that happened live. At that point, I
Yeah.
can just open ESPN, look at the score, and look at the stats. I don't need to do that. Like, that's, again, it's out of touch, and it's not surprising from him
Yeah.
because I used to consider him the gold standard
Hmm.
among like Rob Manfred, he's the baseball commissioner, or Roger Goodell, the NBA commissioner. I used to consider him the gold standard, but in the past 3 years, he's just been absolutely falling off. You know, this is what everybody says. They're just like, he's ruining the game that I love. And
Oof. I mean, I will say that I've also heard that. And I also have heard, I mean, I think that it's like the reality is everyone knows it's just all about the money. Hello. It's about the dollars. And this was like a $12 billion deal, like for the
mhm.
broadcast rights. So they see that and they say, we already got paid. So whether you pay them does not matter really, which is the truth. They got their money. They don't really care if you're paying for it or not because they already paid for it. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so that's what they were thinking about. That's what they really cared about. They were not thinking about the fan experience. You know what I mean? Like, that's
No,
just the truth. They weren't.
absolutely not. Because people are even questioning, even though I believe the inside the NBA guys are moving to the ESPN and ABC
Yeah.
broadcasts.
Yeah.
They're even questioning, are they going to have the same runway that they
Mm.
did on NBA with
Yeah.
TNT with Turner Sports? Because again, ESPN owned by Disney. Is Charles going to be allowed to say half of the stuff he even says?
It's
Is Shaq
so
going to be able
like,
to say half
yeah.
the stuff he says? And when that deal was going on, it was, oh, well, I have to do the right thing as commissioner. And at that point, I was like, okay, I get it. Like, Turner Sports isn't offering nearly as
Mm-hmm.
much as Prime and as Amazon. Then Turner Sports matched the offer and he still chose Amazon. So
Mm.
it had nothing to do with being a good commissioner or, doing it for the money. Like at that point people were just like, okay, that makes sense, but this is what the fans were clamoring for. Turner Sports at the last minute gets the money together and he still doesn't give them the deal. Nothing of what he's doing and how he's operating is moving in the benefit of the fans at all. Because
Yeah.
even down to that,
I mean, I definitely agree. Yeah, we'll see. But it's just, it's an interesting thing to
I'm still
know.
gonna
This
watch.
is going to come up as the season starts. You know what I mean? Like us having to deal with this. But I got to say, I have heard about some alternatives recently. I have learned the ways to watch games without going through all the streaming platforms. Perhaps if you know, you know. Apparently, a lot of people know.
It's called Streamist, but
That is correct.
Disney got it removed.
Well, it's not removed anymore because
We back.
they
We're
have multiple servers all around the world, and they've basically said like it's impossible to shut it down. Like it's not going to get shut down. So and it's still up.
man. Week 1 of the NFL, they Disney immediately took that down, and I was like, I hate you, Disney. But we back.
Yeah,
We back
exactly.
up.
So you know what? But that's the thing is it's like maybe that's what he's low key thinking. Maybe he's just kind of like, you guys can watch it for free. We just need to get our bag. You know what I mean? But he can't say that. Maybe.
Nah, I'm not gonna give that freaking shapeshifter the benefit of the doubt.
I know you're right. It's
Nah,
probably not
I'm
true.
such an Adam Silver
Yeah.
hater at this point. Why does he look like that?
No, he's definitely creepy. Honestly, that's the thing is it's like, look, I'm sure you're a nice man. He's a lawyer, but I'm like, okay, interesting choice to be a commissioner for the NBA, but okay. But still, like, you couldn't have found somebody more charismatic, bro. He just feels so, like, sterilized in the way that he acts. And that's why he's creepy. You know what I mean?
Like you knew David Stern, the ex-commissioner, was definitely doing some shady stuff, gambling on games, fixing the games.
But at least he had
But
personality.
you know what? He had a little something. He was like a little mob boss, and I loved him for it. He worshipped Michael Jordan. He worshipped Kobe. He's just kind of a cool guy.
I don't know. I mean, who knows like what Adam Silver's like actual personality is, or
Garbage.
what he does when he sheds his skin. You know what I'm saying? But
Hey.
I'm sure he's a cool guy. But yeah, we'll see how
just
that
real
develops.
quick, it's Michael Jordan, Vince Carter, and Reggie Miller on NBC.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
You know,
I think
it's
what I'm
Candace
saying.
Parker too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know she's on one of them. She's on one of
Candace
them.
Parker, I really like.
Yeah,
I
she's
really
cool.
like. So if it's all four of them
See,
on
that's what I'm saying.
NBC,
I'm like,
I was happy when
I'm
NBC
interested.
got the rights back
Mm.
because there are like finals games in the 2000s and 90s that were on NBC, and NBC runs a good broadcast.
You know
So I'm
what?
kind of excited for NBC.
That's a good point.
Prime, no, Prime, kill yourself. All right.
I know, not Bezos, bro. My God,
Oh
but
my
I
gosh.
am really excited actually for the
Another
NBC.
shapeshifter.
Yeah, no, literally. I'm excited for NBC as well. They know how to put on a production. They do the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? Like they know how to make something feel like a big deal, and I kind of feel like that's what the other ones were lacking is that they don't really make it feel like a big deal. It needs to feel like a big deal so people get more into it, and that's what NBC does well.
Okay, let's get into the NFL news that happened this week.
Indeed.
So last night was Monday Night Football, and on the Raiders and Chargers broadcast, X, formerly Twitter,
Right.
exploded because they saw somebody very familiar up in the broadcast booth, and that was Tom Brady. Now,
Okay.
the interesting part is, and the reason why NFL Twitter was exploding was because they are questioning the integrity of the NFL and potentially a conflict of interest with Tom Brady. So, just to give you a little bit of context, Tom Brady is the main color commentator on Fox.
Right.
So, he does the America's Game of the Week.
I've seen him.
This past week, he actually did the Eagles and Chiefs game. So, why it's a conflict of interest is because Tom Brady is also a minority owner for the Raiders, and this is how much sway he has. When the NFL draft happened, he stayed out of it, but he did call him on day 3 of the draft to tell him to draft a quarterback. And they listened. They drafted the quarterback that he told them to draft. So clearly he has enough pull and enough influence within that organization to say things like that and to feel comfortable saying things like that. But here's why NFL fans are concerned.
Okay.
Is because this week, for America's Game of the Week, Tom Brady is going to do the Bears versus the Cowboys. Okay? Now you're just like, what does that have to do with the Raiders? The following week, he is also doing America's Game of the Week. The Bears will play the Raiders. Now here's the thing. Here's the caveat about the whole thing. There are these things called production meetings. So they get insight to team buildings. They get to talk to potentially GMs, to owners, to coaches, to players. And often they get a little bit more candid to them. They're trying to give them better insight for, hey, like this will make you look smarter on TV. For example, they're just like, hey, we notice this hole in this team's defense. We're going to be exploiting that by using this player more. So to make you look smart, maybe you get on the broadcast and say, I think this guy's going to have a big day.
You point that out, yeah.
Yeah. So that way, when it happens, you look smart because you already knew that we were going to feature him in our offense.
Interesting. I didn't know they did that.
So being that, and then also that happens with player injuries. So a team could be preparing, let's say for the Eagles, you could be preparing, let's say Saquon Barkley might be kind of banged up. You're preparing to play the Eagles for them having that monster in their backfield. And it's kind of up in the air whether or not he's going to play. So you're setting your entire defense up for him that he's going to play.
Right.
And then right before kickoff, he has a scratch from the game. He is not playing. Guess what happens? You're freaking out because you're like, oh my gosh.
We planned for this.
We planned for this. Yeah. Now we have to completely scrap the defensive game plan and prepare for the Eagles without Saquon Barkley.
Right.
Well, what happens is that these coaches will go and tell somebody like Tom Brady, and they'll be like, so is he going to be available this week? And they'll keep it close to their chest. They're going to be like, hey, you can't say this, but no, he's not going to play. We're not going to announce it till before kickoff, but we're going to have him suit up. We're going to see how he feels. Obviously, if he progresses later on the week, we might play him, but right now we're leaning to 90% he is definitely not going to play.
Yeah.
See, the thing is if Tom Brady does the Bears game and he's in those production meetings and an injury pops up and he is in a production meeting again because he's doing the Bears 2 weeks in a row, this could happen again. So, I mean, just your take on it. I know you're not as familiar with all this stuff. It does. I can see why they have concerns over this. That is kind of a conflict of interest.
I mean, I think it definitely is without a doubt. I'm not gonna lie, like one of my first thoughts was like, does it matter? Because don't the Bears kind of suck?
Don't the Raiders kind of suck?
Well, that's why. I'm like, so it's like, to be honest, I care less because of that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because I'm just kind of like, okay, well, like, would this really be enough to like matter that much at the end of
Mm-hmm.
the day? You know what I mean? Maybe that's a bad thing to think because it shouldn't matter. It's like the integrity thing. But I don't know. I guess I question like maybe could they potentially already have something set up to avoid that? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where he doesn't attend certain meetings because I'm sure that there's no way that like the teams, the coaches, whatever, they don't know. They must
Mm-hmm.
know, of course. He's Tom Brady. Like he's not exactly like an undercover guy where you wouldn't know he's an
Mm-hmm.
owner or whatever. So I think that it's like could it be potentially like an overblown concern? Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Where it's like maybe it's actually not that big of a deal. Maybe he's not really actually like getting to know that much, you know? Or maybe they just tell him more like right before the game
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to like ahead of time, you
So,
know?
so you think this is more because NFL fans seem to take it to Tom Brady, and they
Mm.
kind of put the blame at his doorstep, like, hey, like, because he doesn't have a reputation of cheating, but the Patriots, the team that he played
Mm.
for, had this history of like Spygate and Deflategate and all
Yeah,
these
I
things.
heard
So
about that.
they're kind of already attaching this to him, and it's kind of like that narrative of, whoa, Tom is here cheating again. So do you think it's more of like a Tom thing, or kind of like, well, I mean, he's kind of doing it within the rules. That just seems like the NFL, you should kind of like enforce more rules for him if he's going to play both jobs.
I kind of think that, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest, because it's like he's good at being a commentator. I mean, I've seen him and I think he does a really good job. So, I mean, get that bag, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't think it's exactly surprising that he would want to do that, but I don't think that that should like disqualify him from like being able
Mm-hmm.
to like have ownership or whatever. I do think that it would be more of like, and again, I would question, are we sure that this isn't already the case? Do you know what I mean? Of
Yeah.
like, there's already some sort of arrangement that they have for him. I wouldn't even say it's like on the NFL. I would say it's like maybe even on the media company or something where it's just like they know that they have special considerations for him specifically. Because I'm sure that there must be like I would assume, like, as someone who works in law, you know, you now work in law too.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume that there's got to be something in the ownership, like contracts or like in the rules, like specifically that state that like you obviously cannot be doing certain things. So I would assume that like that would probably be a given. Do you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, that would be my assumption unless there was like proof that came forward to show that he definitely did. Obviously that's different.
Like he's breaking the rules.
Yeah, or like we know that he told them something or whatever and then that came out, that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But to just assume that it's automatically gonna happen, I don't know, that feels like a little bit of a stretch to me,
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
And honestly, I mean, just to close out this story, I mean, he's been doing this since last year. He was already a minority owner last year.
Hmm.
Just to have him do both jobs because the NFL wants him so desperately a part of the NFL. I mean, he's Tom Brady. He's basically still the face of the league,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's in the press box or, in the owner box. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. He's still the face in that way. And they had rules in place for him, and they've kind of eased up on those just to have him more present even in Raiders games and like for him to be better at his job. It's obviously on Roger Goodell. You have to keep the integrity of the game, and if fans are already questioning it, you have to go back to at least the rules that you had last year. Because
Yeah.
the reality is I don't think Brady was allowed at these games last year, and again, if you go back to those old rules, we wouldn't even be talking about it to begin with. So
Okay, that's fair.
yeah.
That's fair. I mean, they could change the rules again.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Maybe that is a good idea. That's fair.
But all in all, it's not going to affect much. The Raiders and the Bears both
That's
suck.
why. That's why I
So,
feel like it doesn't really matter.
Anyway,
That being said,
we're gonna go into a little quick recap of week 2. It was an exciting week. Honestly, though, not as exciting as week 1. I will say.
True, but your predictions were more right.
Now,
better.
Here's the other thing that I want to gloat on. I'm supposed to be the resident ball knower.
Mm-hmm.
Week 1, I was 9 of 7.
Mm-hmm.
I was not good, and I'm sure on the first episode, on the first watch, everybody was like, "This guy's the resident that knows ball. He knows nothing about ball." So I made a challenge for myself, and I said, I'm going at least 13-3 on my predictions this week, and I was 13-3. So the
Good
only three
job.
teams that screwed me
Yes.
are ones that I don't think any of us saw coming. The Colts stayed hot against the Broncos. I thought what I saw from J.J. McCarthy late against the Bears, I thought that was going to continue against the Falcons. No, it did not. The Falcons ended up winning that game. And oh my gosh, what is going on in Pittsburgh? The Steelers were absolute garbage.
Ooh.
It looked like Aaron Rodgers was doing ayahuasca out there. The way he was just throwing up piss missiles for INTs, dude. That defense looks atrocious. Everybody's playing out of position. I thought that was the staple of Pittsburgh was their defense, but they look like dog water. Just absolute trash.
Yeah.
So those are the three. Those are the only three picks that screwed me, and that's
not bad.
That's that Joe Burrow is going to be out for 3 months. That was like the big story. He got turf toe.
Oh, I saw that actually.
Yeah.
That's sad.
One of the most handsome QBs.
I saw
gone
that.
from the game.
That's sad.
We still have Jalen, guys. We're still okay. So we lose Joe Burrow, turf toe, and you know, that's it. I thought like after he got hurt in the first quarter. So I thought, man, there's another pick that might be wrong, but no, the Bengals held on against.
Period.
But yeah, it sucks. We're losing another good-looking guy.
I know.
We still have Jalen Hurts,
what
but
a tragedy.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Miss you.
Joe Shiesty, Joe Burr.
I'm gonna miss you.
But the Thursday night game, happy to say that I got that one right. Again, we record these episodes on Tuesdays.
Yes.
Before they come out.
Context
so
for you guys.
I wasn't late to the party.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, Micah Parsons, the guy that Jerry Jones traded away, the Luka Doncic, has made the Packers the #1 defense in the NFL.
Wow.
Just that quickly.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's not that it's hard to watch. It's just so annoying to watch as a fan, as a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
But I want nothing more than 2 weeks from today. The Cowboys will play the Packers. And not 2 weeks from today, but 2 weeks out in week 4. And I want the Packers to absolutely destroy Dallas. I want Micah Parsons to have 4 sacks. I don't care.
Right.
Like, I am rooting for the guy because the amount of things that Jerry Jones, our owner, said about him and the light that he painted him in, I knew was not true. He may be a little bit immature due to his podcast, but, you know, I'm glad he's making a name for himself. He seems to have found a new home and a better organization that is dedicated to winning.
Yeah.
And again, you know, the Cowboys are not a football team that does content on the side. They're a content company that makes football on the side. That is what they're at. They're after clickbait. They're after the headlines. They're not after winning. They're not after Lombardis. And it was actually funny that the Packers fans started chanting as Micah is walking out doing a post-game interview. They were chanting, "Thank you, Jerry."
Wow.
That was my favorite part.
Just like, thank you, Nico.
Exactly.
That is hilarious.
And I said, again, the situations are just so similar.
Yeah.
Marty, I gotta say, if you're on the Luka bandwagon, start watching the Packers. You might become a Packers fan.
Okay.
Genuinely, because it is the same thing. The things that were being said about Luka and, you know, that he's not dedicated to winning. He's you know, he complains constantly. He's always out of shape.
Yeah.
There were worse things being said about Micah Parsons, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
And just to prove them all wrong is the best part of it.
Period. Perfect.
The Cowboys beat the Giants very narrowly in overtime. It was the worst but best game of the week. By that, I mean both teams were trying so hard, is what I felt like, to lose. And it was just the most entertaining game. Like, both offenses went crazy. They both just seem like bad teams, bad run organizations, poorly coached teams, and it was the most fun you could ever have watching a football game because it was high scoring, it was high octane. A lot of it was bad situational football. Yeah. But old man Russell Wilson, he played really good on Sunday, and I think that's another thing that you could probably look into, get into a little bit. Okay. The fans wanted his head. They wanted the rookie quarterback in, but Russ might have bought himself some more time because he was laying dimes out there.
Okay, good for him.
The Rams blew out the Titans. No surprise there. But Cam Ward, their rookie quarterback, he showed improvement, and the Rams are still trying to let everybody know, hey, the Packers aren't the ones that are gonna challenge the Eagles this year. It's us.
Interesting.
And I don't think it was a statement win because obviously the Packers were playing a better team in the Commanders than the Rams were in the Titans. But the Rams are no joke either. And as this season goes on, it's going to be more interesting to see who that top dog is. Obviously, I have the Rams losing to the Eagles in the divisional round this year. And I have the Packers actually going to the NFC Championship to play the Eagles. So it's interesting to see how that one plays out. Obviously, the Bengals, they have their backup quarterback, Jake Browning, in. This man threw 3 picks. 3. And they still won the game. So,
not great.
Jaguars, I don't know what they're doing. They got 3 gifts. And the biggest one of all in that game was that Joe Burrow couldn't even play the whole game.
Right.
And you still find a way to lose.
That's kind of crazy.
If we were doing, our tier rankings still, their vibes would be on the floor if you're the Jaguars. Ravens, Browns. Ravens got back on track. They blew out the Browns, and that's that. Derrick Henry didn't even run for over 30 yards. So that's saying something. The Bills dominated the Jets. The Jets had one of the biggest moral victories in week 1 just because they looked so competitive against the Steelers. And then they looked like the New York Jets again. They looked really bad is the point.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever that means.
The vibes are there.
Okay.
Their quarterback got a concussion.
Ooh.
They couldn't stop the run, and they were absolutely terrible on offense and on defense. And that's it. The Bills kind of sleepwalked the whole game. They weren't playing that great. All out the way they were playing against the Ravens. Yeah. It looked like they were kind of not taking them serious, and in not taking them serious, beat them 30-10.
Wow.
So that's not good if you're the Jets.
So I guess they made the right choice.
Yeah.
I know.
Another pick that I got right. And then the Patriots, thank you. Thank you for not making me a liar as of yet. Because the Patriots beat the Dolphins. They got in the win column 33-27. So I'm not excited about the way the defense looked. But that offense started cooking a little bit more. They had one of the weirdest and funnest 2 plays in the NFL. The Patriots kicked the punt. So that's when the offense, can't get a first down. So they have to punt the ball away to the other team. They punted the ball away to the Dolphins. The Dolphins take the punt back for a touchdown. So huge momentum swing. The Dolphins, it was their first lead of the game. They go to commercial break. They come back. Dolphins kick it off. Goes into the landing zone. Patriots take it back for a kick return. They get the lead back in one play.
That's crazy.
It was one of the funnest segments or funnest funny. Really quick turnarounds in the NFL this week. And that was arguably probably the second or third best game of the week. The 49ers beat the Saints, the shorthanded 49ers. They have, you should look up a picture of it because it'll be the funniest thing. This guy, Mac Jones, he used to play for Alabama. Okay. And he won a Heisman. He had, I think, one of the best touchdown to interception ratios ever in college football or something like that. Anyway, if you look at him shirtless after he won the national championship, he's standing next to all his buff, other football players. He looks like a fat white real estate agent. Okay. Like he does not look like an NFL quarterback. And anyway, Brock Purdy, or as I call him, Glock Purdy, was out this week with turf toe. Same thing that Joe Burrow is out with. And Mac Jones just threw 3 touchdown passes in this game and looked unreal. And now people are thinking that Brock Purdy is on pumpkin watch. That his Cinderella story is over. He's going to start pumpkining because it seems like anybody can play in the Kyle Shanahan system. So we'll see what happens with that. Wow. CMC had another great game. That's Christian McCaffrey. Okay. The Lions blew out the Bears. Same thing. That's why we were talking about the Tom Brady thing. Nothing's going to help the Bears. The Bears are terrible. Caleb Williams, at this point, I think they're setting in the expectations for Bears fans. You're not going to have a Cinderella run. This isn't going to be one of those seasons. You're just going to want to see, can Caleb Williams get better? Yeah. And that's what you're looking for. Right. But the Lions got back on track. That was another thing that I thought was a liar of week 1. The Lions look good. The Lions look like themselves again. So, Steelers, Seahawks, just to put it lightly, they kicked their ass. And Aaron Rodgers looks like he has no time to throw. And that defense, they're the most expensive defense in the NFL. And they have given up over 70 points, I think, through the first 2 weeks. And they are one of the worst defenses to start the NFL. So not a good sign if you're a Steelers fan, because you don't want to rely on a 40-year-old quarterback who is a no-vaxxer, relying on him to throw 4 touchdown passes a game just to win you football games.
Right.
So that's not a good place to be. Colts. I thought they were a liar week 1, but the Colts look pretty damn good. They had this guy, Daniel Jones. His nickname is Danny Dimes. And maybe he's a Cinderella story from this year, because they beat who's supposed to be the best defense in the NFL in the Denver Broncos. And they are going to have the most interesting NFL bar trivia answer and question from here on out. And it's in the Super Bowl era. They are the only team to not punt the ball once. That's how good that offense has been. They're scoring every time they touch the ball. They have not punted it once. And we've had great teams with great offenses that have punted the ball in the first 2 weeks, at least once. The Colts, no. They are the real deal as of now. We'll see what happens. Last year, the Saints looked good, 2-0. They scored over 80 points through the first 2 weeks. And then I think to finish the year, they were 4-13. They won 2 more games, I believe. Cardinals beat the Panthers. Cardinals look good. But they're kind of playing down to the level of their opponent. I want to see them play a really good team and play up to that level and get a W. So in our Super Bowl rematch, the Eagles edged out the Chiefs. And honestly, I think it was closer than a lot of people thought it was. I mean, Kelsey 2 weeks in a row has basically costed the team. In week 1, he didn't run his route with enough depth and ran into their second-year speedster, Xavier Worthy, separated his shoulder. So he was out this week. He was out basically all of last week. Probably going to be out this week again. And then this week, drops what should have been a touchdown. It gets picked off and returned 90 yards. And the Eagles end up scoring, going up by 10. And that was basically the game. But they have this automatic play the Eagles do. It's called the tush push. Now, there's a lot of controversy surrounding it. Me personally, I think people don't like it because they can't stop it. It's an automatic play. So essentially their quarterback, Jalen Hurts, he can squat 500 pounds. Saquon Barkley can squat 500 pounds. They have an entire offensive line that can basically squat the same thing. So what they do is it's like a rugby play. And they all line up together in bunches and get really low. And as soon as they snap the ball, they basically chop at the defensive line's like legs or their lower half. Jalen Hurts leans over with them, pushes as much as he can, along with Saquon pushing him, and it's called a push, the tush push, and it's an automatic play. But this week in particular, Tom Brady basically called out the Eagles and put the NFL on notice that it's an illegal play that they run because the center lines up over the ball, which is not allowed. Every offensive lineman lines up at the same level. And so we'll see how it's officiated from here on out.
True.
So that's the big thing. This is definitely the death of that play, and this is going to be the last year the Eagles are going to be able to run it. And their head coach, Nick Sirianni, he ran it 17 times that game.
Okay.
He's going to run it even more now, knowing that this is it. This is the going out party. The Falcons beat the Vikings. J.J. McCarthy looked pretty bad. But good thing for the Falcons. They made a lot of moves on their defensive side of the football, and their defense looked a lot better. It looks like the strength of their team, and Bijan Robinson, their running back from Texas, dude is having a great year. Then on Monday night, Bucks edged out the Texans. Baker Mayfield won again on a late drive touchdown to win the game, and the Texans' offensive line still looks bad. So more things stay the same in week 2. And then the Chargers beat the Raiders. This thing never felt close. Geno Smith, their quarterback of the Raiders, with Tom Brady in the press box, threw 3 picks. It didn't really feel close. It felt like the Chargers had it the whole time. And that was really it. So that was the recap of week 2. Like I said, my week 2 picks were a lot better. And I think this week we got some pretty good games slated. But now that we're done with the recap, we're going to move into my 2-minute drill. So Monty's going to put the time back on the clock.
Yep.
Last week, I did it with, I think, a second to spare. I got everything right
Yeah, you
on
did.
time.
You did well.
And like I said, I called my shot. I went 13-3. This week, I'm gonna go with the same thing. I'm
Okay.
gonna at least go
Feeling
13-3.
confident? Period.
Yes.
Alrighty.
All
So
right.
now,
So
week 3 predictions. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
okay, the Dolphins are gonna travel to face the Buffalo Bills on Thursday Night Football. That's a W for the Bills. Are you kidding me, Josh Allen? The Miami Dolphins might make more of an effort to stop the run, so maybe not a big James Cook game like we've seen in the first 2 weeks. But come on, it's the Bills. Packers, Browns. Browns suck. Packers are awesome. Packers by a million. Colts and Titans. Colts are the real deal. I don't think they're going to pumpkin. I think they're this year's Cinderella. Man, was I wrong about them. I thought they could lose every single game. Colts are going to win that game when they travel to Tennessee. Cincinnati Bengals versus Minnesota Vikings. Both teams, interestingly enough, might be without their starting quarterback, but I think the Bengals are going to be better equipped with that, and I think they barely edge out the Vikings, but I think that one's, you know what? I'm going to change it right now. The Vikings are going to beat the Bengals, all right? The Patriots will play the Steelers. Again, Steelers can't block anybody. I think the Patriots will win that game. They'll be able to run the football on that Steelers team. I just think you have the highest paid defense, but they got a lot of old guys on that defense. I think more of the problems that they had from week 1 and week 2 stay the same. I think it's a high scoring game in the 30s, but the Patriots win. Rams, Eagles. I'm actually going to go with the Rams. Unfortunately, the Eagles have a problem that they had 2 years ago. You accept things in wins that you wouldn't accept in losses, and the Eagles are winning, but barely. And I think it bites them in the ass, and the Rams prove that they are that one of those teams this year to challenge the Eagles. Bucks play the Jets. Bucks by a million. Washington versus Raiders. Washington by a million, even with Marcus Mariota. Falcons, Carolina. Falcons are just better. Falcons, Texans at Jaguars. I think the Texans get back and get their first win. Chargers, Broncos. Chargers, I think, make the upset, prove they're one of the best teams in the AFC. I ran out of time.
You did. It's okay. It's okay.
Seahawks, Saints. We're going in overtime. Seahawks, Saints.
Yes.
I think the Seahawks actually are pretty damn good. Sam Darnold played a lot better. And the Saints are basically in that lottery pick area in NBA terms. They're up for the number 1 pick, and that's going to stay the same. Bears are atrocious. Cowboys are really good offensively. I actually have the Cowboys this week.
Okay.
San Francisco 49ers versus the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals consistently play down to the level of their opponent, and I think this week it bites them in the ass. I think the 49ers win that game. Chiefs, Eagles. Chiefs, Giants. The Chiefs are still the Chiefs. I know they have problems, but they'll get back on the winning side of things. They'll be 1-2 by the end of this week. And then Lions, Ravens. Unfortunately, this is just a bad matchup, and it's been a bad matchup for the last 2 years for the Lions. Give me the Ravens, and I think this one might not even be close. I have the Ravens. That's my 2-minute drill. I did it in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I took a lot longer. I was a lot more nervous this week. But you know what? Again, we're gonna go 13-3 this week. I feel really good.
Hey, you did
we're
it
gonna do it
once.
again.
Absolutely.
So now we're moving on to it's a renewing segment we do at the end of every show. The MVV, it's the most valuable vibes of the week. So
our MVP, if you will. All right.
So do you have your most valuable vibes of the week?
You know, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't. Just because I was paying a little more attention last week, I think, to the NFL games, and I didn't pay as much attention this weekend. I'm gonna be honest. So I don't feel qualified to make a judgment this year, but I mean this week. So I'm curious about yours though.
Okay, so mine is Rigoberto Sanchez.
Oh, I like
this
it.
might be the one and only time that our most valuable vibes goes to a punter. In the NFL.
Alrighty.
He is the punter of the Indianapolis Colts. If you haven't heard his name, that's because it hasn't been said. Because again, the Colts have been so spectacular in the first 2 weeks, they have not needed him. He might as well grab some ballpark nachos and a glizzy, and he can just camp out and watch the rest of the game. Daniel Jones has been immaculate. The Colts do not need him. And dude, he's just getting paid millions of dollars to just sit on that sideline, look pretty. And yeah, I mean, what a job to have. He's just showing up watching the games.
He just vibes. He doesn't have to get tackled. His brain's not getting rattled around.
And if you really think about it, if the rest of the team is doing their job, a punter never has to. So that's the important thing about a punter. So yeah, that's my most valuable
Alrighty.
vibes of
I
the
like
week.
that. I like that. That seems fitting, I think.
Wait, before you go anywhere, you degenerate gamblers, I got a little Tony's Prize picks of the week. $25 will win you a grand. Let's go.
Hey.
It's Patrick Mahomes. All he has to do is throw for 1 passing yard. You're going to use that. That's a free gimme. Tyler Warren, he will get his first receiving touchdown. So you want to hit that demon over on more on rushing or reception touchdown. Then you're going to want to pick Tucker Kraft from the Green Bay Packers. Again, another demon pick. He's going to have a receiving touchdown this week. Watch out for that one. Then your fourth pick, you're going to want Jamar Chase at least getting 82 receiving yards this week against the Minnesota Vikings. They're going to be going at it because the other guy that's going to go over on his prop special is Justin Jefferson. He's going to need to get 79 yards for that to play out. So you're going to want to hit more on both of those guys' receiving yards. Just do the regular line. And then on the last one, he's caught a pass every week. He's not really featured in their offense, but you can guarantee he's going to catch one. And it's Travion Henderson with at least 9 receiving yards. That's the New England Patriots running back. You're going to want to pick over on that one. If you get all 6 of these picks, I guarantee, not I guarantee, because I can't guarantee that.
Yeah.
But there's a good chance.
It's very possible.
There's a very good chance that if you follow Tony's picks, $25 will get you $1,000, and you're going to have a great weekend.
We love money. We all love money. Well, thank you guys for watching. This has been episode 3. We have a mini episode coming out this week as well. If you guys have not already seen it, you should go watch it. We are ranking NBA teams by vibes, and we have our own special tier list. So that one's a fun episode. So make sure you tune in for our first mini episode. But thank you guys so much for watching. Do not forget to follow us on all social media, Instagram, TikTok. We are First Team All Vibes everywhere. If you're not watching us on YouTube, you should be because it's funner there. You can see stuff, but you can also listen to us. Of course, we love that. Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. We are First Team All Vibes. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you think. Do you guys agree with our takes? Like, do you guys think we're crazy about some of these things? Do you agree about the NFL takes? Let us know in the comments. We would like to hear, really. If you have any topic suggestions or anything, we'd love to hear it in the comments. So let your voice be heard. But thank you guys so much for watching. This has been First Team All Vibes, and we will see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.